There's gotta be something. It's gotta be big. Stuff's coming up. I'm excited to start a new chapter in my life and this channel. It's gotta be something close to my heart. Close to my heart. Yeah. Yeah, I think I got something in mind. Sup, dude? No. What do you mean, no? You don't even know what I was gonna say! But I know why you're here, and it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna play Kingdom Hearts, and you are going to go away. Au contraire, Adamare! I very distinctly remember you saying that I can only appear once per season, and according to my watch, it's currently November 2022, so that means we're on to season 3. Wait. 3! Which means I think I extended season 2. Wait, what? Paparazzi took forever because of usual things, and I felt bad letting this season end on such a whimper, so I decided to extend season 2. Didn't you get the email? I delete emails, remember? Why? Everything's spam when you can't read. Well, now that you know your 1 appearance per season is still under effect, how about you go bother someone else, please and thank you. But everyone else is busy! Fashionista Benson left already. Cardi Benson's out selling scams to people using what he calls dazzling raspberries. And Benson's BS and craftery won't talk to me after I use star stickers on his work. Mention it like ruined Mario or something. So why not just go skateboard? Well, that's kind of why I'm here, dude. Remember when you told me to unbreak my leg back in Oddworld? Well, I did. It wasn't as easy as I thought, but I did it thanks to Gorilla Glue. Oh, pro tip, by the way, just put it on your leg, don't swallow it. It didn't travel to my leg as fast as I thought it would. Well, after that, I tried skating and I just couldn't do it right. I couldn't shred sick tricks, and soon enough, I barely could even stand on my skateboard. At first, I thought it was a gnarly poop, but then I was like, nah, man. I'm not Constantinopated. I put the Gorilla Glue on my leg, not on my... The point, please. Oh, right, the point. The point is, I need to get my mojo back, and I need your help. And, how am I supposed to help with that? There's a game out there called OlliOlli World that not only helps you be a pro skater, but also helps you reach Gnarvana, the highest spiritual point of all skaters. And I figured if you talk about it, maybe I can get back to my roots and reach Gnarvana. Be the raddest of rads! I don't know how you keep finding out about games I'm excited to play, but as much as I'm really looking forward to OlliOlli World, I kind of want to talk about Kingdom Hearts first. But this is imperative, broski! I need to shred! Besides, you owe me for introducing Fashionista Benson to get your mojo back. Well, I helped you with advice to unbreak your leg. That makes us even. But then you introduced Fashionista Benson, which kind of negatively tips the scale in favor of I don't owe you shit. Well then, can you do it? Because if I don't bring my best next season, I'm gonna be missed? The fans love me, dude. Yeah, I know they do. But still, maybe next time. Oh! Alright, Maui, I gotta let you outside before I... What the fuck?! Oh! Thanks for letting me out of there, dude. Hey, while you're at it, can you free me from this earthly plane by playing OlliOlli World? Alright. I'm just saying, dude, this TV would be really cool if you had OlliOlli World on it. Ooh! Alright, I'll fucking play OlliOlli World! Alright! You gonna get that checked out by a doctor, though?
'tis the month of November at the time of recording this, which means I'm forced to play yet another skating game because somebody won't leave me alone and let me have nice things.
Is it me?
But I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy my exploration back into the subgenre of sports games since starting this channel. Sure, only half the games I played really knock it out of the skate park, but even Skatebird had very small glimpses of what I have come to adore about these games, using all of your environment to kickflip, reach new heights, and get the most insane arcade-like scores in a way that anyone can play, but a select amount will master beyond belief. This approach doesn't just have a high ceiling for players, but no ceiling at all. The sky is your limit when it comes to how you play, which I adore as someone that still itches to come back and grow in mastery. However, my itch has yet to be scratched since I haven't touched Tony Hawk Pro Skater in a while due to waiting to see change before playing an Activision game again, and Skatebird being that. Not only that, y'all know me, and as much as I'm enjoying the skateboard genre and all the classic fun it brings, I'm also looking for reinventions to it that tweak how you play just the slightest. It's not that I'm already tired of it, far from it. I just want to grow as a gamer and add to my skill repertoire beyond just getting high scores in admittedly awesome 3D playgrounds. But that in itself is where I found today's topic. A game that not only flips the script by reverting to a 2D environment, but also treats skating almost like a platformer on top of it. And that game is simply called OlliOlli World. Released earlier this year on February 8th for PC, Switch, PlayStation 4, 5, and the Xbox One and Series X, OlliOlli World is a 2D skateboarding game developed by Roll7 and published by Private Division, and, to my surprise, is actually the third game in a series that previously released in 2014 and 2015 respectively.
Am I gonna have to study the lore to get this game?
Nope, the first two were just challenging skateboarding games.
Oh, thank the rat above. I thought I had to, study the lore of this game like it was Kingdom Hearts or something. Glad we're not playing that though, right?
OlliOlli World, much like the previous entries, prides itself on difficult skateboarding in 2D environments, but brings forth a story mode to add to your trek across the land to be the gnarliest like no one ever was. It's received very favorable reviews across the board, with critics praising the skating mechanics, graphics, overall world design, fair but challenging gameplay, and the open-ended level design with multiple branching paths to take. As for negative reception, criticism seems to be garnered towards the story's writing and instances of gameplay and design clashing many times for some people. The key phrase here is some people, and the fact that main criticism I've come to find across the board is story writing, I am extremely hyped to jump in and see what this blend of genres is all about. When I think of a weird match made in heaven, I won't lie, I always thought it would be skateboarding and platforming. Both have a very high risk, high reward approach when it comes to landing jumps and getting the best out of you to become a pro at anything that's thrown your way. Skateboarding just adds a bit more flashy style to the mix. So to say I'm not surprised and was actually pleased to see OlliOlli World announced during Indie Directs is an understatement. This game has the chance to be a sleeper hit for my top games of 2022. But it also runs a big gamble at the same time while trying to get the best of both genres that I'm hoping is avoided while we're talking about the game. With that being said, is this game a skater's paradise or is it a total bailout? Cruise on in as we celebrate Radvember, dudes and dudettes. This is OlliOlli World. Okay, we are definitely not calling it Radvember. To start off, I need to talk about the presentation of this game because oh my god. This has some of the greatest style I've ever seen in a video game. Up there with the likes of Persona 5 in my opinion. Everything has a hand-drawn, converted to 3D style look that is very reminiscent of Adventure Time, even right down to the faces of everyone having the exact same simple facial build of Finn. It's adorably charming and character designs are spectacular in their own right, but the main stars of the show, the levels, are simply divine. The game is split into 5 separate hub areas based on the god hanging around, more on that in a second, and ranges from beaches, forests, deserts, industrial city, and a play on Las Vegas that is illuminating with nightlife and bizarre but captivating architecture. Nearly every level feels unique despite sharing a similar hub world. You'll go to the beach walkway one second, but a couple levels down you'll find yourself at a water park, and even a beachside gym that's inhabited by... Wait, are those muscular pigeons?
Whoa. We should Hook them up with Skatebird, dude!
This level of authenticity makes every level feel alive. Even branching pathways have slight variations that keep things fresh in regards to the foreground and background. Whether it's the humans themselves, including your fully customizable character.
Oh!
No, you're not allowed to design this one.
Aww.
Or other trippy denizens like aliens and the pigeons, the world feels so organic as you shred across and dazzle audiences with your combos, and I genuinely love everything about it. This 2010's cartoon look gives so much depth and detail to character and level designs that feel straight out of graffiti or other art associated with skater culture. You will adore everything there is to see in your journey across Radvania. In regards to why we are traveling across Radvania, the story follows us as we travel to meet the 5 gods and ascend to Gnarvana by proving we have what it takes to become the next skate wizard, a skater that keeps the balance of all things radical and can skate among the gods. The story is extremely simple yet effective because of all the different characters we meet along the way, all worshippers of each god with varying beliefs that get along because of one common goal: to skate. The journey is one of self and outward reflection of what it means to be a skater, and learning different techniques from each world to grow as a person just enhances the experience pleasantly. It's a simple premise with a lot of great moments punctuated by the adorable interactions we have with the crew that's traveling with us. Yes sir, our ascension into skate wizardry isn't a solo trip. We trek across Radvania with a very lovable cast of characters that includes Chiffon, her, the current but retiring skate wizard that almost doubles as your friendly neighborhood hippie and is my favorite character. Mike, the dim-witted yet charming guy who gives us side objectives in each level to improve our skill. Suze, the sassy camera person that documents the journey. And Dad.
I found you!
No, different Dad. The dynamic between this group is so lovely as they're a makeshift family bound together by their love of skating, and they definitely have sibling dynamics sometimes with their playful dialogue, especially between Suze and Mike. However, I agree with complaints to the dialogue because sometimes it really does feel like a how do you do gamers approach at times. It works for Dad, yeah, but that's the punchline. And even then, it kind of borders into eye-rolling every once in a while. My problem lies in how there's jokes about capitalism or anarchy or some shredding joke that just feels forced. It doesn't bog down the entire story experience, but I also would be lying if I said it didn't make me wince or skip through a couple lines of dialogue, anticipating a punchline that shouldn't exist. Luckily, the developers had a feeling someone would get tired of the story or just not care, because before you get too far into a scene, you have a choice of dialogue which either reacts accordingly and progresses the conversation, or what is essentially a shut the fuck up button that leads you right into a level. I didn't use the button for the sake of getting a grasp of everything for this review, but the fact it exists is admirable. Not many games that have a story as a secondary selling point to their gameplay would do this, and they would just make you slog through something you don't care about to get to the main course. A tip of the hat to Roll7 for that. As a matter of fact, I think it's finally time we talk about the main course, the gameplay. OlliOlli World is a 2D skateboarding game, which means that typical playground and freedom you'd get skating around an open area has been restricted and sacrifices a lot of what makes the genre good. How do you recover from that? By making it a platformer.
Wait, time out here, dude. So you're telling me a skateboarding game conformed to restrictions and then added something interesting to distract everyone like it was okay? Dude, I don't want to play this game anymore. This sounds like capitalism.
Now hold on, Radical Benson. This may sound like there are a lot of pitfalls, but genuinely, it works. I may not entirely know how well the first 2 games translated it just yet, but in regards to movement here on your skateboard and any momentum lost or gained, the developers handled it with such care and nearly nailed the execution perfectly. You're always moving forward in a level. Even if you go back the way you came through another path because of a ramp, you're still facing forward, technically speaking. Hills, descending ramps, and so on frequently appearing throughout your journey keep your forward momentum steadily increasing, so you almost never lose yourself in it all. And even if you do somehow start to slow down, you can press the A button to gain some speed, or hold A to do a mega push to really get a burst of speed so you can trick and kickflip through gauntlets safely. Not only that, but if you do choose to go down a different path, your left and right movement are done with the press of a Y button, and look more like an up and down movement that at times gives you a quick dip into 2.5D platforming. It all feels near perfect, and the fact you're always moving ahead and can't accidentally pull back to grind to a halt punctuates just how seamless the development team made the movement and makes up for the loss of a plane. Like I mentioned way earlier, platforming and skateboarding is a weird blend I've been interested to see in the last few years, and OlliOlli World just shows how good it can feel. The same goes for your tricks, which I'll go over alongside one of my favorite things about OlliOlli World, that quite literally makes the movement, the tricks, and the feel of going between everything and making combos so silky smooth. And it technically isn't in the game. It's the controller layout. I'm happy to report for any hardcore pro skater fans that yes, the large amount of tricks you can do alongside wall riding, grinding, manuals, and grabs are all here and are just as satisfying to pull off. As a side note though, don't get too cocky with riding manuals to sustain your combos, because you can only use 3 in a row before you have to essentially refill them by either wall riding or grinding, which I found was really fucking cheeky of Roll 7 to do. They just knew deep down people would ride infinite manuals if given the chance, so restricting it to 3 before bailing out to make you think cleverly about your combo made me chuckle. That is really smart. Back to the tricks though, you're probably thinking to yourself, Benson, is this going to be the same layout as any other skateboarding game?
Is it? Let me finish.
Because if so, there's a lot of room for errors, and you would 100% be right in thinking that. But the shit ton of button inputs got downscaled greatly, and the main input you're going to have to worry about to kickflip, do basic tricks, wall ride, and even grind is all right here in the left stick. To get some air, you simply move the left stick in the direction you want to go in, yes, even diagonal, and it automatically gives you points and tells you what trick you pulled off. If you push the stick down to prep your jump and rotate it in a certain direction, special tricks activate. Each trick gives you your jump in platforming terms, and if you want to grind on a pipe, all you have to do is move the left stick in a direction and hold it for as long as you're on the pipe, and each direction is, once again, its own trick. Same goes for wall riding, of course, but once the end of a wall ride or grind is in view, left stick it again and land safely or move in another direction to attach to another wall or grind. That's it. That's your main worry of skateboarding all in one input. Once you start to gain more skills, you can start adding button and even right stick inputs to the mix, such as holding A while holding the left stick left or right to perform a manual, holding A and moving the left stick in another direction to balance and perform different grind techniques on a single pipe, using the right stick to perform grabs, and if you hold them long enough before landing, tweaking them for extra points, stair riding, putting them all together while doing a full 360 degrees by holding the right trigger for as long as you can, and even smashing through crystals. Not sure why that last one needs to exist as its own specific skill, but I'm glad it does, only because of the fact your stiff as a board bail physics look hysterical hitting a crystal. You literally just hit it like, doink!
In all seriousness, this is all you have to worry about, and much like the basic movement, the tricks shocked me in the best way possible, because goddamn, it all feels right to control just because of how simple this control layout is.
The only trick I could not get the hang of and could argue is the worst to do is late tricks, but it isn't necessary. It's taught to you late game and you can easily get by without it. And that's the joy of OlliOlli World. You're taught all of these tricks and everything is mapped expertly to a simple layout that won't collide with anything else that you will barely feel the need to say there's a bullshit factor to your do-overs. So if you feel like you can't do late tricks, then don't. You don't need to try to catch a last second trick for a wow factor. Just use the A button instead to land right into a manual and get just as much satisfaction. The wall rides and grinds obviously are pivotal to your platforming, hence why they're counted as a recharge for manuals, and there are large gaps of pipes and billboards to challenge you. But everything is optional and optimized to be there if you really need it otherwise. I can't gush about this enough, but seriously, taking a tried and true recipe that stood the test of time in pro skaters' playstyle that other games still add to this day, and changing it just enough where it makes perfect sense as a platformer too is genius. Easily one of the most creative changes to any playstyle I've ever had.
I can feel it, dude. I can feel the urge to skate coming back to me. I'm ready. I'm ready to catch sick air and wow everyone! No, Radical Benson, I really think you should slow down here for just a second. No time to slow down, dude. Gnarvana waits for nobody. Only the raddest can skate into those graffiti gates. I'm ready to get my mojo back. What? What am I? Oh, bro. I am sorry for the foul language, but this is bogus. I thought you were here to help me get my mojo. You were like my mojo dojo, bro, yo.
Well,
but here you are lying to me, dude. Your reviews are a lie. I can't catch more than one trick without a pipe or something coming my way. Whenever I try to jump, I just fall. And whenever I have a sick combo, I lose it to something. I can't wall a crowd. I can't do sick flips. I'm being too cocky, aren't I? I shouldn't be trying everything out the gates, shouldn't I? You're gonna use my advice from Skatebird about how not everything is Tony Hawk Pro Skater against me, aren't you? Oh no, bro.
come on, y'all. Did you really expect this game to have such a simple control scheme for a game that blends skateboarding and platforming, and it not to be challenging? Oh, you poor, poor soul. This game will genuinely test what you're made of in the most fair way possible, and it does not hold back. The level design is fast-paced, and there will barely be time to breathe as OlliOlli World makes you work for those combos, and requires quick inputs from you to keep you reaching for the sky. Even your chances to find alternate paths, which I adore and gives you a pseudo-freedom that you get in games like Skate, is almost gone in a flash, and even if you sigh in relief because you got there, suck it right back in, because you could wind up on a gnarly path, the hard alternative routes for a long time before your next checkpoint. I think the checkpoints are rather generous in this game, but for good reason. OlliOlli World is a challenging journey to Gnarvana, and keep in mind, this is supposedly the easiest game of the series so far. This is considered the entry point to what you can expect.
If you unironically say what I think you're going to say, I will write you out of Season 3. So it's the Dark Souls of skateboarding?
The checkpoints in the few seconds before your next large-scale skate fest of the level, after you hit a checkpoint, are your only reprise, but let's be honest. Many of you are going to try and sustain combos by doing manuals, but if you bail out at any point and restart at a checkpoint, goodbye 100,000 point combo. The game won't be generous with you. It'll make you work for every inch of a level with momentum, tricks, and combos, and you will most definitely get a false sense of confidence at various points of the game and furiously hold down the checkpoint button, not just to restart at the last checkpoint, but the entire level, because you're determined to be the most skilled skater there ever was, like Radical Benson over here.
But you really shouldn't be pissed at yourself. OlliOlli World may be difficult, but here's what makes the game special in my opinion. It makes you tackle things differently in two ways. The first being that the game is about the journey and not the high score. And the second is that it gets the best out of you when you realize that this is a platformer with a skateboarding skin instead of a skateboarding game with a platformer skin.
I'll go over the first thing in a second, but if you come into OlliOlli World thinking this is another Skate or Pro Skater or even Skatebird, where you could chain together tricks and cheat the level design right out of the gates, you are insanely wrong. There could be almost a dozen different routes to take in every level, and some of them involve the slightly more difficult gnarly routes while moving at a non-stop pace. That's one thing. But you also have to couple in the fact that in regards to normal tricks with the left stick, you can only do one per jump. You can't spam button inputs before jumping into a grind or landing like before. That one trick is your one jump, and you better hope you land it right. Your combos and momentum in this game are reliant on how you handle everything else from level design to your other tricks. You can't just cheese grinds or your airtime to get the highest score. If you want to get somewhere or get an insane combo, it is all 100% skill and patience. And it is insanely satisfying once you get the hang of it because again, you can't treat this like your normal experiences. It's a healthy blend that really is primarily platforming first with skating elements second, but in well-made hefty amounts. And once you realize this, combos come easily to you, and it all just flows easier.
But high scores are a part of cool objectives to unlock more awesome stuff and levels. How can I be a pro skater if I can't do that? But you really don't have to here. The only way you advance through the story, unlock levels, and get through the world is just simply get to the end.
Most skateboard games have an overall objective of getting the highest score and completing other side objectives along the way, such as collect this many objects, or knock this interactive part of the environment off here to show your skill and unlock more of the game. Hell, even Skatebird follows this sort of pattern because it works. Skateboarding has always been about showing off the best of you, and back in the day, X Games was all about that too, so why wouldn't games follow suit? Here in OlliOlli World, you just unlock levels by completing them. If you complete them without using a single checkpoint, then you get a nice gold star, which is cool, but it isn't required to access the rest of Radical. Look at this menu before you start a level. You have your high score objectives of beating 3 possibly, your side objectives from Mike, which serve as a true test of skill, and your main objective, which is get to the end. Think about it. A game with skateboarding is saying you do not need to be at the top of your game for a level to advance. It's optional. The real feat isn't anything fancy you do on your journey. It's just the fact you made it. The fact OlliOlli World gives you this leeway in a rather challenging game is a superb choice. Unless you really are that good going in which I literally salute you and your amazing self, you probably won't experience everything for side objectives and the level in general on your first go. You may not even be that good depending on the level you're in. But that's what the checkpoints are for. That's what restarting the level is for. And that's what unlocking the next level by just getting to the end is for. It isn't going anywhere. You don't have to stress at all if you don't want to go to the next level. Go back and take a different route. See what will yield the best you for next time. The gameplay matches the story well in its message. Just skate. No matter who you meet, who they worship, or their all-around ideology, everyone is united by the passion to just skate, no matter the skill. They even teach you things like wall ride as you advance if you haven't figured it out at that point, because they know you're starting off. They've been there. If you figure it out somehow, then hey, that's your accomplishment. Now go show it off. Redo the level now that you have a feel for the layout. Go and try to beat the highest score. Take the gnarly route. Do that side objective of high-fiving everyone at once while not breaking the combo before the finish line. If you want to come back with everything you learned to make it even easier by stair riding to keep your combo, fucking do it. There's no rush, no time limit. Radical and Gnarvana are waiting, because the real lesson is that skating takes time. To get to your highest point, you're gonna have to struggle. So long as you're having fun, who cares? Even the gods echo this sentiment when you reach the end of their worlds and meet them. They're so laid back and just happy you're getting up there as a skate wizard and pro all around. Their designs are unique and yet feel in line with this world all at once, such as a giant leaf, a sandcastle with a pail for a head, and a very, very familiar look.
Oh my god! I love Ice King!
And with all this supposed rad power, they just chill out and hope you can skate with them in Gnarvana. Even the final god brings what I'm talking about all home, as he mentions it's all about the fun in the journey, ascending you into Gnarvana as the next skate wizard with this final speech. Even after you move around, they give you their own personalized challenges to make levels even more fun and challenging, keeping you wanting to come back because you know you can do better. You don't have to do it all to advance in this game. You could come back at any point better than ever with what you know, and it's honestly brilliant. A challenging skateboard game, encouraging replayability better than a lot of mainstream games by acknowledging its challenge by not using it as an obstacle, but a stepping stone you'll eventually get over. Add that to how easy to pick up the gameplay is because of the control scheme, and it's just a wonderfully crafted game. Plus, once you talk to the gods more, you get to unlock Gnarvana, which is literally just skating in their colorful realms with different settings such as tricky, long, chill, and so on level designs, and an online mode where you're dropped into a random group of other players and have 24 hours to get the top score in a level to unlock some exclusive cosmetics and oh, yeah, okay, I ain't getting some anytime soon. Talk to me in a month, 2 millennia from now. But that's the joy of their definition of Gnarvana and how it works so well with the gameplay. These are modes you unlock when you're getting better at the game, not right away. Rule 7 eases you into it all to remind you that if you set foot into online thinking you're automatically gonna get the hang of it, you're gonna be dunked into reality real quick. These are actual players that are not only on the same level as you, but most likely even better with a ton of practice. Even the level codes you send out for whatever level settings you create will remind you that you don't have to rush a high score or be great. Just have fun. You're already achieving and advancing at a decent pace. Enjoy the moment and focus on what's directly in front of you in a level instead of trying to plan 5 steps ahead. Otherwise, Gnarvana will always be out of reach. I've talked about games that at first seem approachable for anyone new to the genre that one way or another just falls flat or worse, like Paparazzi and Skatebird. But OlliOlli World successfully crafts opportunities for skilled players to reach for the stars and not take away from the all-around fun factor for anyone else trying to play. extremely challenging yet approachable. Open to all, but a high ceiling for anyone willing to get enough air for it.
Whoa, dude. You just, blew my mind. I didn't realize perfection could ever be achieved in a game.
Oh, I never said it was perfect. Yeah, as much as I love a skateboard platformer, you mesh two genres of hiccups known to fans together, and you're gonna get some messy problems. Depth perception issues with jumps from the platformer end rear their ugly head at times at such a high speed where you can't slow down for much. And as for skateboarding, as much as I love the simplicity of the left stick, it does leave some leeway, especially for manuals and late tricks, where if you don't point the stick in the exact position, you won't pull it off. Even a fraction of movement away from true left won't do. It led to many attempts by me on this side quest where I had to go around the level 3 times in a row without breaking my combo, and because I didn't apparently have the input perfect, failed the manual and the level. I almost ripped my hair out. On top of these hiccups for both sides rearing their ugly heads, momentum can sometimes just stall if you're spinning and land the wrong way, or even just randomly during slight inclines on pipes where you can't push again. And the pipe is your only way forward. This game does a very good job of making you realize it's your own fault that you failed, but that makes these moments of physics that are far from perfect all the more easy to pick up, and they did happen quite a few times. It won't ruin your fun, but you'll definitely feel the frustration rise when you have to do over because you just sort of stopped. Going back to my mention of side quests, they're very disappointing if I'll be honest. Some levels have a side objective where you have to find a certain character and talk to them to unlock a very specific character level, and they typically devolve into completing a level without breaking a combo, high scores in a specific time, that type of stuff you're already doing. The only real standout to me was the fact I raced a bear all the way to the bottom of a river, which made me wish there were way more unique quests like that. Otherwise, they kinda just stick out like a sore thumb and are something to complete for the sake of it. Ouch. Another thing that made me say ouch was some of the tech issues I ran into. It seems the Switch version, the one I played, is prone to it way more than other versions, but I had a couple instances of very long load times, and the rest of the time, transitions in and out of cutscenes lagged so much that it froze quite a bit, especially towards the end game. The game actually crashed on me during all of this twice too, which was irritating. Everything was smooth and looked great in comparison. I don't know why the transitions undid the polish, but like I said, the Switch version does it way more than the other versions. It'll still happen, but not as much, so if you can, play other versions if you don't want that annoyance. Even if you play the Switch version, you should be fine. Just brace yourself for it because it'll really grind your gears. If you want your gears undone though, listen to the soundtrack. A very chill lo-fi techno soundtrack that is easy on the ears and feels as trippy as the visuals themselves. Not a single song feels out of place, and the songs transition between each other near perfectly, never feeling out of place at any point in time. But with all of this said and done—
Wait! Oh, pardon me, man, but I know this game's about the journey and the friends we meet along the way and all, but what about 100%ing the game? Don't you get anything to mark you as a pro skater if you 100% complete?
The what? Oh, the completion award. Yeah, funny you should mention that. There is none. All those side objectives, high scores beaten, and etc. only net you more cosmetic changes. Even the gods just net you the satisfaction of beating their goals, and I know some people will be disappointed that there isn't anything big, which is fair, but I would argue again. It's what's programmed into the story and gameplay. You don't have to worry about any reward to get by becoming better. The satisfaction of beating a level and becoming unstoppable should be more than enough because it's not how you get there, it's the journey itself. And that's what had me coming back again and again. Even after recording about writing this despite beating the story in about 5 hours, you can come back at any time and just shred to play and challenge yourself and your friends. And that's rad as hell. But again, with all that said and done, that concludes our time with OlliOlli World. A few bailouts to be expected, but all around nails the landing. Oh man, that was such a trip through Radical. But we're finally at review time, so did OlliOlli World nail all the tricks up its sleeve, or did it end up losing all momentum?
Well, what was it?
Not only do I have confidence in saying that this is my favorite skating game I've played so far, but I also have confidence in saying that this game just found its way into my top 10 games of 2022. Far from perfect, even when pushing everything in the right direction, from movement and physics and humor that can break a feel-good combo of a story, OlliOlli World still does so much right that'll leave you coming back again and again after the credits roll. The branching pathways, the high scores, the insanely satisfying visuals, and piles of side objectives to come back to. The replayability is through the roof and is worth it because of the simple control scheme that feels easy to pick up and satisfying to master. Not many games can say they nail this type of feeling for even one genre, but Roll7 nailed it for two at the same time. It has just the right amount of challenge to keep you on your toes fairly that feels great to play through your own journey to Gnarvana. I should know. I dominated in the final level, and instead of getting pissed I missed a jump that led to my only bailout, I got right back up and rocked the most insane combo I didn't think I'd be able to pull off, and have since come back to make even better scores. A quick thing to mention too is that this game has DLC out currently that you might have noticed to the side of the main map menu. Void Riders and Finding the Flow Zone. I didn't play them because I didn't know if I would enjoy the main game, but now that I'm beyond thrilled, yeah, I'm fucking playing through that DLC on my own time, and any more in the future. Gnarvana is rad as hell in OlliOlli World, so kickflip down and re-experience the pure joy that is skating for the hell of it. OlliOlli World is a prime example of going against the norm and coming out better than it in many instances, a feat I feel like is rarely accomplished to this level. It's a perfect reminder that whether it's skateboarding or life itself, we really get caught up in trying to be the best that we forget that it's the journey and just getting to the end that make us better for next time. I'm still not over the fact that a challenging game reminded us this while bracing us for what's ahead. It's not often that I feel so ready after getting my ass handed to me a couple times previously. But OlliOlli World does it extremely well in such an amazing experience. But with that being said though, that is the end of this review. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. Before you go on your own gnarly journey, it's question time. Have you played OlliOlli World before? What do you think of it if you have? Have you played the previous 2 games in the series? And finally, what's a challenging game that left you with the satisfaction of the journey making you better instead of just simply being told to get good? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe if you liked what you saw, and the next time you guys will see me is hopefully for something that you've been waiting a long time for, as long as nobody else gets in the way. Hopefully. Until next time though, this is Benson from the Game Dimension, signing off. Have a good day, guys.
Oh, dude. How could I have forgotten? I was just trying to be the best me again, then I forgot that I gotta take it a step at a time. Flip by flip, trick by trick. How could I be so stupid?
Really isn't hard for you.
I can't thank you enough, me. I think I have the confidence to get back out there again. I can't wait to show the gang.
I'm sure the other Bensons will appreciate your, confidence.
What? Oh, not those guys. I meant everybody at home in the Radical Dimension. You know, Radical Connor, Radical Show, Radical Nick, Radical Scramaram, or as I like to call him, Radaram, and Fuse. I can't wait to go home and... Wait.
Are you okay?
Dude. I think it's happening. This whole review, this journey, it's happening, dude. I'm ascending to Gnarvana. Oh, wait. Silly me, it's just the edibles again.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. Look, okay, you had your fun, but are we done here? You okay to go on your own pilgrimage to Rad?
Oh, totally, dude. I think I'm ready to go forth and continue my journey as a son of the Gnarvana gods. And I think I know just how to start to prove myself as a son of the skate. I'll see you later, me. Stay rad.
You know, I didn't expect that. Nothing wacky, and surprisingly wholesome ending. Huh. That's a first. Well, guess I'm good to finish recording here.
Whoa! It's me, Ravenous Christ! I've come from beyond the grave to shred for your sins! This is going too far, isn't it? Would have been better if I just came out in the bird costume or wrote a book about my ascension, wouldn't it? Oh. My bad.
Y'all ready to get funky?
The most important part of